Hey guys, welcome to Priceless B-Movies. I'm your host, as always, Colin Price. You know, about a year and a half ago, I was doing these reviews a lot more often. I had much more free time. I had some slightly better equipment to work with. And, I've been looking back on some of my old videos, and a lot of the movies I reviewed, I either mentioned other movies during them, or they were part of a franchise, and I only reviewed like this one of the two or three. And I kind of want to go back and look at some of these series, these franchises, and kind of try to play catch-up, because I always think it's kind of weird to review a movie and not review the sequel, or to review the sequel and not to review the first film. And yes, I have done that, because technically I did a review for Psycho Cop 2 a while back. But now I want to get back into the groove, as I said, about kind of completing the groups here. And so, hence the only reason that I'm reviewing this turd, Black Scorpion 2. Black Scorpion 2 is the 1996 sequel to the 1995 Black Scorpion film I reviewed, as I said, a while back. And, with that film, Black Scorpion is kind of special to me because, like a lot of people, if you're in your 30s or 40s or 50s, you probably grew up, and I did kind of grow up with the reruns of this, the old Adam West Batman. And, it was a fun show. It was really campy, but you couldn't really take it very seriously. When I was 12, 13 years old, Sci-Fi Channel started the show Black Scorpion, which was based on these other two films. I had never heard of the two movies because I didn't have premium channels, and they were always on like Showtime and TMC, so I never got to see the movies, but I instantly became addicted to the TV show because, one, of the camp factor that's really fun when you're 11, 12 years old, but also because of the outfits that some of the characters would wear, which is also pretty enticing to an 11, 12-year-old. Joan Severance returns as Darcy Walker, a.k.a. the Black Scorpion. And in this film, the first film had a lot of great aspects to it, where it kind of mixed action and comedy and action and camp. This one is straight camp. This movie is a lot closer to the tone of the TV show than the first film is, where the first film kind of tried to play it seriously even though it was goofy. This film just goes straight goofy. It also knocks off a lot of Batman cliches. There's the one character, one of the villains, one of the two villains in this, is basically a straight Joker knockoff called, I shit you not, the Gangster Prankster, played by Stoney Jackson. And he is honestly the best thing about this movie, not because he's really that great or that the character is that interesting, but because he knows that he's in a goofy movie, and he's playing it like Cesar Romero kind of tended to play the Joker back in the Batman show with Adam West. And I really enjoy that. I really enjoy the camp aspects of this sequel, but at the same time, man, is it dumb! Gangster Prankster ends up teaming up with this female villainess called Aftershock, who basically can create shockwaves and earthquakes out of nowhere. I have no idea. It's always like a doctor or a scientist or someone in these movies and in these shows, and then they get hurt in some way and have these superpowers and want to take revenge on the city. The movies in the TV show always had the same kind of plot line. It was always just a villain of the week, and the gimmick would be, well, what's the gimmick with the villain? Aftershock causes earthquakes. Gangster Prankster is more or less the Joker. Darcy is the Black Scorpion and has to fight these two villains, but also she's trying to get the attention of her partner at the police department. And just like in the first movie, there's this kind of weird, kind of gender role reversal, Lois Lane and Clark Kent kind of thing going on, where, he's all after the Black Scorpion, but she can't get his attention. And if he had a brain in his head at all, he'd realize in a heartbeat they're the same person, because he regularly deals with her in and out of costume. God, I'll never understand how that works in comic book movies. Being that this is a kind of campy, goofy film, there's a good sense of humor to it. Not all the jokes hit. When they do, they're pretty good. Most of the best lines in this movie come from Garrett Morris. He's the guy who basically, he knows Darcy Walker is the Black Scorpion. He's basically her Alfred or her Q. He He gave her her car that does all these cool things, that transforms and shoots missiles and all that. And he basically is her buddy who helps keep her secret. But, you know, he really gets a lot of the best lines and a lot of the best scenes in this movie. And I'm really glad that after the first movie, they gave his character more to do in this and kind of made him more a part of the plot. It's hard to talk about Black Scorpion 2 because, you know, usually when I do these reviews, I'm so worried about giving spoilers, but there's so many movies like this that you can probably guess from beginning, middle to end how it's going to go. And 9 guesses out of 10, you're not going to be wrong. A self-aware sense of humor that ranges from satire to, oh my god, that's the lamest joke I've heard in 10 years, and a couple of kind of ridiculously violent action scenes aside, there isn't much to this movie. You've seen movies like this before, and if you've ever seen an episode of the Black Scorpion TV show, you've also probably seen better material than this before coming from the same characters. Gonna have to give Black Scorpion 2 1.5 stars. I love the TV show. I still love the TV show. The first movie is, yeah, it's okay. The second movie is awful. I was never as big into these movies as I was into the show, and I think it's because just the movies, it doesn't fit. It almost works better as a TV show, as a villain of the week, as a monster of the week thing, and to try to build on it or make it any more epic than that, you're always going to get disappointment. You're always going to get disappointment. That's my review of Black Scorpion 2. Stay tuned, I got a lot more of these coming. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more Priceless B movies.